welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon Reviews. 3 games up this week, first of which is a game called Treasure Stack. So, this is not just a match 3 puzzle game, but it's a falling blocks, or I guess falling chest, to be more accurate. But still, it's a game that's been forged in the image of, say, Tetris or Puyo Puyo, where, all of those. Mm-hmm. Which admittedly is not a genre you see too much these days, which is a bit of a pity.
I think this is more closer to Magical Drop.
No, it's like the game this is emulating is Wario's Woods.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, I was having flashbacks the entire time I played this.
Oh boy.
Because it's, mechanically very similar to Wario's Woods. And if you haven't played Wario's Woods was admittedly a fairly unique, even today, falling block puzzle game. But there's a reason why it was never cloned all that much. Like, it can be very maddening, let's say. But to break it down, in Wario Woods, your job was to destroy all the monsters, and you did that by lining up 3 bombs, I think, and you could stack them. That's about what you're doing here. You have a character. You have a couple choices for avatars. You unlock more as you progress, so to speak, in the single-player mode. Like, I hesitate to use the word progress because outside of unlocking new grapples, that's kind of the big twist here on the formula, is that you have this grapple hook of various items. Could be a potion, it could be a book for reasons. Anyway, you can use that to grab chests and keys. That's the gimmick here. You are trying to unlock treasure in these chests. They're locked. You have to stack them close. It doesn't matter how many chests you have. Like, you don't need to have 3 chests and 1 key, or 3 keys and 1 chest. Any amount of keys next to any amount of chests will do. Which, in that regard, that puts it closer to, say, Pack Attack. But still, the main focus is definitely more Wario, since you are stacking and moving and all that. And it can get pretty harrowing pretty quickly. Not gonna lie, this is one of those falling blocks games where every session's not gonna last long. I'd say about 2 minutes on average, because the game will very quickly get frantic, and because now, if you want to get actually get the items, even in single player mode, you have to have the garbage blocks on. It's like, I never played it without the garbage blocks, so I don't exactly know how that worked. But with the garbage blocks on, they'd show up at intervals. You can get rid of them if you solve the puzzles. But it has the typical puzzle tempo of getting faster and faster and faster, until you lose. And it's just the rapidity ratchets up fairly quickly, much more quickly than I was expecting, honestly, at first. But it's okay. It suits the game well enough. It's just, if you're one of those people who can spend, hours upon hours upon hours, playing a game of Tetris, that's not this game. Honestly, I've played a lot of puzzle games. I do really rather like this genre. It reminded me of Meteos. Anyone else play that one?
I
Yes.
don't remember that one.
It sounds familiar, but
Yeah,
think
I
I've
remember
played
it, but I don't think I've played it much.
It was the other puzzle game made by Q Entertainment, not Luminous. Sakurai actually worked on it. Like, really underrated DS game. It's just really made good use of the touchscreen and the stylus. One of the better early examples. It's just those matches had the exact same tempo. You get more and more frantic, more and more blocks would drop, and an individual game would not last all that long. Which is okay. It's just I'm gonna say this game is best played on the Switch.
Yeah, this looks like a game you'd want to play like on a handheld for a brief amount.
At least for the single player. There are many multiplayer options. There is 4-player local. Didn't get to test that out because there's nobody for me to test locally. And the big drawing point is the ranked mode. I gotta admit, I had no interest in the ranked mode. But it's like how it plays. If you played 2-player, say Puyo Puyo, or anything where you deal with frantic, garbage blocks and all that, it's typical multiplayer puzzle, affair. It's fine. It's just this game's kind of actually centered around what they call season mode. Like, this thing has actual seasons and tiers, and I'll be honest, it's got a casual mode as well. Once again, couldn't really try any multiplayer options with the team here because I was the only one who got the game. Like I said, it's all fine. It's all just fine. Like,
if the game is on multiple platforms, do you know if anything at all about if the multiplayer is cross-platform or if it's?
I do. In fact, cross-platform seems to be the reason why this game's not on the PlayStation family systems. Yes, it is available for the Nintendo Switch. It's available for the Xbox One, and it's available for the PC. Yeah, that's a big clue there of it's cross-platform.
And it's also looking Windows only for PC if that's a sticking point for anybody.
Right. Like, which it could be. But yeah, it's like not a surprise that this one's cross-platform since it's a puzzle game. It's pretty simple to do cross-platform here. And it's not one of those games where you're not going to get a control advantage on a particular platform.
Right.
Like, so yeah. Let's see.
You mentioned you mentioned the avatars. Do they do anything, or is it just the grappling hooks?
I'm not sure if I think they're just aesthetical. Like, I don't know. It's like I really didn't. I'm like, I think it might affect speed, maybe.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm like, I don't know. They just seem to be more. Both things seem to be more cosmetic than anything else. Or it's one of those. The differences are subtle enough where I didn't really notice all that. And it's like, and if you're looking to unlock everything, there's like 50 of each. So
good luck.
Yeah. It's I'll be honest. I don't think this title had the staying power of the grand grades. It's not the next coming of Tetris. Or
now, is it like a progression-based unlock thing where you beat X amount of levels and you get this guy, or do you like buy him from a shop?
A combination of both. Like, it's levels, but it's framed as coins. Remember, the whole treasure is its literal gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, so, let's see. Pricing is, well, it's okay. The nominal price here is $20. I mean, mind you, you can get, like, it was on discount when it first released, 10%. Now, is $20 a good price for this game? There are arguments for and against it. I mean, like, if this game were released in, say, the 90s, it would have cost more than $20. Like, $20 would have been seen as a steal.
Now, is this 20 on all platforms or just PC?
It's 20 on all platforms. It's the same game on all platforms.
Yeah. Just some you have like $5 more because of console licensing and whatnot.
I'm like, if there's a physical version, like it would be more. But I don't think there's a physical version of this yet. I mean,
we say yet because we've had many people on the show who do physical editions of indie games.
Yeah.
And every time I go to Bull Moose or something, I look at the selection of physical Switch games. I'm like, really? That got a physical release?
Well, I mean, it's a cottage industry, apparently.
I've actually had to ramp back my, getting physical versions of things because I just couldn't afford all of them.
Yes. Let me see. Sorry.
Live research.
It's like, sorry. Let me go to the Switch page, see if there's any info there. Yeah. This. Anyway, in the meantime, $20. Like I said, if we were talking about, back in the day when these games were regularly released on like cartridges or even CDs, like $20 would have been seen as a fair or bargain price. These days, it's not so easy. I mean, like, one of next week's games is also a falling block puzzle game, and it's a lot less, let's say, but it's also it's like in terms of content, I think it's got it, as long as you're interested in investing in the multiplayer scene. It's like if you're interested in doing the ranked mode and unlocking everything.
And I imagine what kind of multiplayer you're into. Like, if you're more into local, the Switch might be more your bag than the PC version.
It's like, for casual play, I really have a problem recommending this on, like, the PC or even the Xbox One, because the the match-to-match gameplay is so short. It really feels like it's one of those on-the-go experiences.
Yeah, you're waiting for a bus or something.
Yeah, definitely something along those lines versus, it's like, or, a toilet time kind of thing.
Right.
Like, just because I can tell you, I have spent hours on Tetris. Like, Tetris is, is the kind of game that can suck you in, and even though
that's the problem with a lot of puzzle games is that it doesn't mean they're bad, but when you make them more distinctive by making them more complex, they lose some of. I mean, Tetris is literally about as simple as a game like that can physically be.
Yes.
And that's part of the appeal of it.
I mean, mind you, Tetris itself can get complicated. Like,
I mean, like, the mechanics are
right.
Like, it's about as mechanically simple as you can physically make an actual playable game.
Right, and there are also cousin games that have sucked me in, like Bejeweled. Like, I spent a lot of time playing Bejeweled.
I think most of us here have spent more time in Bejeweled than we care to admit.
Yeah. I'm like, it's. And what I'm saying is Tetris Tech is kind of the opposite. It's made for quick play sessions. And I think that works itself out best on the Switch. And it's not like, there's going to be a tangible difference here. I mean, there might be in like the fine details, the kind of thing that you could only find out from a, like frame by frame comparison, and you do the Digital Foundry examination. But otherwise, this is a match. This is a matching puzzle game. It's not going to, like, this game wouldn't tax like the PlayStation 1. Mm-hmm. Like, hell, the Super NES could nominally run this. I'm pretty sure this game is more, it's like, in terms of like actual fidelity of graphics, it is high def, it is widescreen. I do want to say that, but in terms of like mechanics and everything that's going on here, it's definitely something that wouldn't have been out of place in the heyday of this genre. Mm-hmm. So, kudos to them for nailing the aesthetic, with modern sensibilities. So, yeah, as far as recommendations go, it's a fairly specific recommendation based on a couple of preference here. Overall, the game is fairly solid. It's just, I don't think it has the chops to last for long sessions. Like, make of that what you will. Anyway, that'll about do it for Treasure Stack here. Be sure to tune in after the break, as Twilight Winter will be giving his impressions of Nova Drift.